Alrighty, it says I am live. Hello. Greetings and salutations, everybody. And fun fact, I remembered to turn off the TV before I started streaming. So, woo, points for me. All right, so there are already some comments. Fly Mage says hello. I still love your icon. Like, I love Teen Titans. It was one of my favorite shows growing up. I absolutely love it. And Raven was always my favorite. So your icon gets like multiple points, my friend. Azarath Metreon Zenthos. Devin saying howdy. Happy birthday. Thank you. Oh man, Devin, you always say howdy. I'm wondering, are you from a place where they say howdy a lot, or do you just like saying it? Because I have family from Texas and they like saying howdy. So I don't know if you're in that region or somewhere else. I'm curious. And Sarah, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, right? It's like Sarah, but with a Z. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's Sarah. I still feel so bad that I was saying your name wrong on Autumn's live stream. So sorry, but thank you. So how are people today? Devin, are you just like saying it? Yeah, it's fun to say. I love saying howdy. I say howdy and y'all, but I also, again, I have family from like Texas, and my mom grew up in like Oklahoma, Texas, and they talk like that. So I grew up hearing y'all and howdy and fun stuff like that. Okay. Oh, I still will, but it's just because I feel bad for, I always feel bad when I mispronounce people's names because I have a name that is not always easy for people to pronounce. The way I've heard people pronounce my first name has been weird, and the different pronunciations I've heard for my last name, which is pronounced Monahan, have been so weird. So I feel really bad when I mess up other people's names because I know how annoying that can get. City boy from Canada. I like it. Where in Canada? Just out of curiosity. Yeah. I don't know if I could call myself a city person. I live in a city, but I would much rather live somewhere where there's sky and open land, preferably maybe the desert somewhere. I'm a desert girl. I love Arizona. So if I could live in Arizona for the rest of my life, I would be happy. I will deal with 100-degree weather any day over the swamp that is outside. So NYC for Zara. Nice. That's awesome. Last time I went to New York, God, it's been probably 10, 15 years at this point. It's been a very long time, but I do really want to go back up there for like Christmas time. Obviously, once everything calms down in the world, but I've always wanted to do Christmas in New York City. I always thought that would be cool. Go see a couple Broadway shows, of course. Near Toronto. Okay, cool. Awesome. I'm stuck near Washington, D.C., so it's not my city of choice. I would much rather be off in Phoenix. Somewhere out west. Somewhere where the Cowboys roam. Or sorry, no, somewhere where the Buffalo roam. There we go. Buffalo and Cowboys. Oh, man. So today, I'm trying to think. This is kind of the only thing I have going on today. It's going to be a very lazy day for me. Just because, I honestly can't think of anything else to do today except hang out with you guys and have my phone buzz because does anyone else do that where it's like your family members, they don't like talk to you for the entire year, but as soon as they get the notification that it's your birthday, it's almost like they try to use that as a way of apologizing for not speaking to you for the rest of the year. And it's like, okay. So I just think that's funny. And I love my family. Don't get me wrong. I love my family, but I do think it is hilarious that, we go 364 days without hearing from them. And then as soon as I get that notification, like, it's your birthday, they're like, I guess we have to say something now. Does anyone even use Facebook anymore? Like, I don't think that's like the hip thing to use anymore. I think it's Instagram or TikTok or I don't know. What are these youngins into nowadays? I'm old. Oh, and officially 25. It's a birthday thing. A lot of my family talks throughout the year. Birthday. Yeah. My family, it's weird. We don't even do like Thanksgiving and Christmas. I mean, we'll say hi to them or something, right? But it's not like we'll sit down and be like, how was your year? Merry, it's just kind of a Merry Christmas, goodbye kind of situation. There are some days, Devin, where I really do feel old. Like my little sister she's 5 years younger than me and she's 19. And just the idea that this person who I remember being a baby is now an adult, it makes me feel very old. Same thing with like friends who's have little younger siblings who I remember being little and are now it does make me feel a little bit old. Also, Lord of the Rings is almost 20 years, or the first one is 20 years old. Almost 20 years old. That makes me feel old. Because I remember seeing those in, like in theaters and stuff and watching them when I was a kid. And so, Pirates of the Caribbean is on its way to being 20 years old. And so just to putting that in perspective, like these movies that I was really excited for when I was a kid are now, 20, almost 20 plus years. It's like, oh. Also, something that my husband told me is when things turn 25, so like when cars turn 25, they're considered classics. So I am a classic this year. Oh, well, happy birthday in advance. Oh, you're an August baby. Oh my gosh, I love meeting other August babies. I think August is the greatest month. Mostly because so many people have birthdays in it. I feel like it's a very popular birth month. I'm not sure why. Does that mean you got to go see it in theaters though? Because if that's what that means, I am extremely jealous. I would have loved to go back in time to 1977 and see that movie in theaters. That would have been incredible. That would be so cool. If I had a DeLorean with flex capacitor and 1.21 gigawatts, I would 100% go back to 1977 and watch Star Wars in theaters. So I'm a very big Star Wars fan. I don't know if you can tell by my, I don't know if you can see it, but that is a TIE silencer just kind of hanging out on my camera tripod. I built that. And I built this Upsilon class command shuttle and this other TIE fighter. And I think I have 4 Lego TIE fighters. I really like Star Wars. I'm sorry. I like Star Wars and I like the Sith. So sign me up for, I don't know, how do you learn to be a Sith? Are there like Sith schools? Anyway. Oh, your parents could still take you to see Star Wars. It's totally fine. Totally fine. My parents took my little sister to see Transformers in theaters when she was like 3. Not the best idea, but everyone else wanted to see it, so. And Petra is here. Hello, my friend, and thank you. It is good to see you or hear from you, I guess, since I'm not physically seeing you. Let's see. So I think since we have been chatting for about 10-ish minutes, that we'll go ahead and start with our little warm-up sprint. And the warm-up sprint that I'm going to do today, normally I do the 10 minutes, but because I was born at 11:02 a.m. on August 7th, that is the time that we're going to start with today. Already off to a fun little start. Yep, I was born on a Monday. I am 1/7 of the way to being Solomon Grundy from DC Comics. So, born on a Monday, christened on a Tuesday, married on a Wednesday, took ill on Friday. No, took ill on Thursday? No, yes. Took ill on Thursday, grew worse on Friday, died on Saturday, buried on Sunday. Right? Is that Solomon Grundy? If anybody knows Batman, let me know because I don't remember. Oh, Devin, you're not ancient. You're fine. Don't worry about it, my friend. Hello, Helene. See, you did pop in. It's great. You're fine. Alrighty. Well, if you guys are all set, I think if I can click on the right thing, I think we'll go ahead and get started with our first stream. Hello, sprint. Slip of the tongue. All right, so if you guys are all ready, let's go ahead and get going. Happy sprinting. Sweet. All right, all right, all right, as Matthew McConaughey would say. How did everyone do? Thank you, Helene. I'm so glad you got to pop in. I realize this is a weird time of day to be doing this, but here we are. So let's see. I'm gonna do a rough estimate. So not as much. Wow, I felt like I did more than I actually did. So I'm gonna say 2 minus about 5. What is that? Let's say 223. I got about 223 that last sprint. A lot of it still is, like rearranging and rereading and going through and figuring out what in the heck to use, what in the heck not to use, all that fun stuff, all the joys that come with editing. So I am slowly but surely, though, reaching my midpoint. I think I'm pretty much at the midpoint with this chapter, so that's good. The question that I now have about that, though, is I have a couple more characters. Well, I guess a character, singular, that I want to introduce. But I don't know if the midpoint is too late to introduce them. So I've been going back and forth on that. As of right now, I'm going to stick with introducing him when I introduced him originally, and we'll just go from there. We'll just see what happens. Oh, but I'm really liking it. It's weird because I'm not really a romance person. I don't really like romance. I like things that have like love stories in them, but I am not a, sappy Nicholas Sparks kind of. I don't like sap. Sap is gross. But I like stories that have like a little bit of romance in them. Maybe that's not like the main focus, but I like a little bit of happiness for characters. So, but it's weird to write something that's not like straight up romance. I mean, there's like the romance does sort of play a major factor in this because it's Hades and Persephone. So it's going to play a major factor. But it's like, it's weird for me because I don't normally write like this. Usually I like relationships are, not the main focus of the story. So it's weird. Yes, editing. Oh, editing. Don't we love it? I'm hoping though that once I have draft 2 done, that kind of these scenes that I have to add, I can just start like tweaking from there, and I don't have to like keep adding things to it. Because that's the thing, is I sort of breezed through draft 1, and then going back, I'm like, oh, but there's so much that should have happened in these places. And so that's what I'm going back in and adding now. And so I'm hoping once I get to draft 3, it'll be easier to go through and edit. But we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? Sarah only writes romance. Well, then could you have tips? Because I feel like I'm not convincing with it. Like, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know. I'm always a doubter in my own abilities, but romance is definitely something that I've never been good at figuring out. So if you have any pointers, I would love to hear it. No words for Helene. Needs a coffee. Hey, that's still productivity though. So I would say that is still successful. Some outlining and rereading. I feel the rereading over and over and over and over and over again. Some stories planned outside the romance genre. adult was messaging you in? Oh yeah. I got your messages. I don't know if you saw, but at some point during the sprint, I just kept looking down. It's because my phone kept going off, and I was like, "This is either a family member wishing me happy birthday, or this is Zara or Helene or Autumn saying something." So, also, if you saw me looking up that way, my upstairs neighbors, I don't know what they do. I don't know why, but for some reason, they will just like pound on the floor like when there's nothing going on. It kind of sounds like they're dancing. I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird. They're walking around right now. Yeah. Yeah. And I think, Helene, we had a little bit of a conversation about this yesterday. Was it yesterday? Just about like romance, and yeah, there's a difference between being like, yeah, there's a difference between being realistic with it and being excessive. And a lot of, I feel like your typical romance novels are very excessive. But that is not mine, so don't worry. None of that. But yeah, no, I like it when it's real and it actually feels genuine between the two characters, unlike something that feels like it's been forced or just kind of there for the sake of being there. It doesn't actually contribute anything to the story. So I get that. Yeah, neither do mine, Devin. They have no idea. They have absolutely no clue. And especially since the floors here are wood instead of concrete, you hear everything where they are in their apartment. And all the apartments are laid out the same way, so I know what room they're in. Yep. I see my phone is going off again. I'm just going to put the phone, I don't know, I'm just going to chuck it on the couch or something. I mean, it's highly possible. I was about to say, wasn't there a movie where someone had to keep... No, you know what? That was a Futurama episode. It was like one of the, like the second or third time they brought Futurama back. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Futurama, but it got canceled a couple times and they kept bringing it back because it's that good of a show. Mm-hmm. And there's an episode, the episode where they come back, I think for the second time, there's this like bomb thing that the professor puts in Bender, who's the robot, and it's supposed to like energize him and get him like rebooted so he'll like move and stuff, but he has to keep moving, otherwise the atoms in the bomb will overheat and explode and like basically, you know, atom bomb everybody. And so the entire episode is just Bender like dancing around and like trying to keep this bomb from exploding. And I think your neighbor might be Bender, Devin. I think Bender is up there. Season 7 Bender. At least I think it was season 7. I don't know. Futurama came and went so many times. I've lost track of when they were canceled and then when they came back. So it's a great show, though. If y'all have not seen Futurama, highly, highly recommend it. It is hysterical and wonderful and definitely made me cry a couple times because it's just that good. So I highly recommend it. Also, if you guys have never seen it, highly, 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 highly recommend watching Lucifer on Netflix. It is so good. If you've ever seen Castle, if you like Castle, Lucifer is like Castle, except instead of a novelist, it's the devil solving murder mysteries in Los Angeles, and it's great. Season 5 is coming out in like 2 weeks, and I'm so excited. Finally! Cliffhangers are lovely, but not when you have to wait a year to find out what the conclusion to them is. So that is, those are my TV recommendations for the day. But they're good. They're both really good. I have a whole box set. My husband got me the whole box set of Futurama for my birthday last year, I think, or the year before. I can't remember, but I have the whole box set for Futurama. So Highly recommend. Sorry, I was reading through what I wrote. Does anyone else have that thing where it's like something catches your eye and you're like, I don't know if that's exactly what I wanted to say? Like in my mind, it sounded better, but on paper, it's like, what is this? You know? Sarah, I know we talked about this. You're Lucifer, right? You're a fan of Lucifer because we were talking about Ella and how awesome she is and how I would love to have an Ella hug. I need an Ella hug. I really do. She's so wonderful. Lucifer used to be on cable. I don't think they're gonna show reruns of it anymore, but it used to be on Fox. And then they canceled it after the third season with like the biggest flipping hangover, but a cliffhanger. I mean, I kind of had a bit of an emotional hangover after I watched that episode, but but like the biggest cliffhanger that you could cancel a show on, and it's like you cannot leave it there. So Netflix ended up rebooting it and bringing it back. So hallelujah. I like cable for hockey. Everything else is streaming sites. We just use streaming sites now. Yeah. I was just that's what happened. I was like looking at it and I was like, is that really what I meant to say? Like so I had to go back and like read to get the context for it. And it's like, kind of. But I'm one of those people who I have to get through a draft before I can go back and start editing again. Just because if I stop, I will never finish. And it's that is the worst feeling. That happens to me kind of with my first novel that I was trying to work on. Was I sort of tried to go back and edit it while I was still writing it. And that was a mistake because now I haven't touched it in quite a few months, which is bad because my mother keeps asking me about it. She's like, "Oh, how's your other novel going?" It's like, I don't know what to tell you, Ma. Oh man, I'm slowly turning into my husband. My husband's family is from New York, and my family is like from Oklahoma and like the South. So, on my side of the family, it's mama and like dad or daddy. And on his side, it's dad and ma. It's really funny. He's such a northern boy, and I grew up in a house raised by two people from Oklahoma, so our upbringings were very different. Yes, that's awesome. You should totally dress as Ella, Sarah. I think that would be awesome. Just like find like your nerdiest shirt and like your biggest glasses and be Ella and be awesome. If you can be Ella, be Ella. But that is really cool, and it is a really good show. It's funny because I'm not usually one for TV shows. I like movies. I like being able to sit down for like 2.5 hours, watch a movie, and be done. Lucifer was the first show in a while that I actually sat down and binge watched. And I do not regret a minute of it because the acting is great, the writing is hilarious and fantastic, and it's just like they just pace their stories really well. So highly recommend it. Also based off of a DC comic and DC fangirl. So no, Batman. Grew up watching Michael Keaton's Batman, actually. So if you all, actually, let's make this fun. Let's see, what year did your favorite movie come out in? And we'll set that for the next time for our sprint. Will be the year. And it can be like, if it's 1977 or 1985. When did The Goonies come out? 85? if it's something like that, we'll still put it in. And Google's just going to change it to the correct time. But just shout out, what's your favorite movies? What's the release date of your favorite movie? Oh man, I have so many favorite movies. I could not tell you guys where or when to start with that list. Probably, actually Return of the King in 2003. I think that's where my favorite movie list sort of begins. But I am also a big fan of like The Dark Knight is one of my favorite movies, and that was 2008. And then 3:10 to Yuma is also fantastic, which was 2007. But I like a lot of movies from the 80s too. So like I like Indiana Jones. I know Star Wars was kind of ended at the beginning of the 80s. Goonies. There's a lot of 80s movies that I love. I don't know why. If there was a decade I could go back to, it would be the 80s just so I could go see all these movies. Back to the Future, all of them. I would just go back and watch them all in theaters. You don't have to pick just one because there are many that are really good. So Petra says 2001. Yes, Spirited Away. One of the best movies ever. I love that movie. That movie's so cute. I love it. Also, the first foreign film to win Best Animated Picture, I think. Right? Was Spirited Away the first foreign film to win, or did it win Best Foreign Film? No, it won Best Animated Picture. Right? I don't know. I'm not sure on that one. I'm still applauding Parasite for winning Best Picture. I have not seen Parasite yet. I have heard nothing but fantastic things about it. But I'm very glad that a foreign film finally won an Academy Award, because there are a lot of really good foreign films that I feel like are worth that level of praise, I guess, if you want to say it. And yes, I didn't live through them, but the 80s were awesome. I lived through them through the movies that I watched. No, the 80s, I would go back to the 80s. I wouldn't go to the 70s. I wouldn't go to the 90s, but I would 100% go back to the 80s. So Petra is saying Spirited Away. So why don't we we're going to do, I guess, 2001 for our next sprint. And if anybody else has any other movie dates, just shout them out. We're going to do movie dates today. So, first foreign film to win Best Animated Feature, according to Wikipedia. Yeah, I think that was the case. And that's kind of why it was such a big deal, is because it was the very first time a non-English film had won. Also, Beauty and the Beast is the reason why there is a category for Best Animated Feature. Took a while to get there, but Beauty and the Beast was so good and so well received that they were considering having it be nominated for Best Picture, but they didn't want to give that to an animated feature when it was up against live action features. So over time, they developed the category of Best Animated Feature, and Beauty and the Beast did not end up winning that because it was many years later, but it was the reason why that came to be. I will take your word for it, Devin. I would love to go to the 80s. All right. So we're gonna do 2001 for Spirited Away. So I hope you all get spirited away to your writing lands. I see what I did there. That was really bad. And I hope you guys have a good sprint. Maybe listen to some Studio Ghibli music while you write. That would be fun. All right. Happy sprinting. Be spirited away. Woo. All right. Yay. That was a very good sprint for me. I actually cannot tell you how many words I added. It was a lot. Yeah, I'm not sure where I started and where I ended. Well, I know where I ended. I don't know where I started though. But I am reaching, like I said earlier, I'm reaching the midpoint of my story, and but what was I saying? Hold on, I lost my train of thought. Hold on a second. Oh, and they're seeing snow for the first time, because the thing that I love about the changing of season story is that up until that point, there had never been snow, or at least they thought that there had never been snow. And the whole reason why it got cold enough for it to snow is because, you know, Hades took Persephone and Demeter got all sad, and she was like, well, if you're not going to get me my daughter back, I'm just going to ruin the earth. And so she's like taking all the nice weather, and she's like, here, have the Great White North, have Antarctica weather. And everyone was like, I don't know if we want Antarctica weather up here. So it's so it's kind of like they're just getting back up to the surface, and they're seeing snow for the first time, and it's like, what is this white stuff? Like, it was basically how me and my older sister reacted to seeing snow for the first time after living in Arizona. It was like, what is this? This is weird. So, because we had snow when we lived in Maryland, but neither my sister or I were old enough to really remember living in Maryland. So when we went out to Arizona, that was kind of like where we started, where our earliest memories are really from. And we didn't get snow in Mesa. Like, that was just not a thing. It did not snow in the desert. And if it did, it was not enough to like cover the ground. It was just like a tiny little dusting. And so when we either went up to northern Arizona or moved back out to the East Coast and we got snow, it was like, what is this? Why is it cold? So my sister and I are not snow people. I'm going to go back up because I did miss some. Says that's so. Oh, about the Beauty and the Beast thing. Yeah. It was interesting when I found that out too, that they created a whole category just because they didn't want an animated feature to win Best Picture. It's like, that's the Academy for you, though. They kind of just do that. Also, a trick that I've realized, and I don't know if this is true for all of them, but in recent years, this has been a trend, is that if two people from the same movie are nominated for different categories, so like Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, if any of those people are like it's like the actors, I've noticed this, is that if any of the actors who are in the same movie together but are in different nominated categories, if they win the award, the other one does not. And I've noticed this the last couple years. The most recent one was that both Laura Dern and Adam Driver got nominated for Marriage Story. And Adam Driver was nominated for Best Actor, and Laura Dern was nominated for Best Supporting Actress, and Laura Dern won. And I was like, that means Adam is out. He's not going to win Best Actor now because they're in the same movie, and I've never seen that happen. Sure enough, Adam did not win. I was like, I called it. But yeah, it's weird. The Academy Awards are like really, I don't know. I don't always trust their judgment, but Nikki, hello. I don't know if you've ever been on one of my streams before, so welcome. Hello, my friend. You get 3 hellos. Hey there, hi there, ho there. As the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse would say, Devin is saying hello to Nikki. Sarah, favorite movie? Yes. Oh, Mulan is so wonderful. That was one of the movies that I would watch as a kid and be like, I want to be Mulan. You know, because I was never, I mean, I like Disney princesses, but I was never like I can't just sit around and wait for a prince to come knocking at my door and kiss me in my sleep. I honestly think I would call the cops if someone did that. And so for me watching Mulan as a kid and seeing like this girl like actually go out and do stuff and go on this adventure, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I love Mulan. I will forever speak highly of Mulan. I will not speak highly of the sequel, but I will speak highly of the first one. I'm a little bit nervous for this live action because Disney has not been doing a good job with their live action versions of their princess movies so far. And I'm very worried because this movie that they're trying to make realistic, like they're trying to sell it, or we're trying to sell it as realistic, has a shape-shifting witch. Which, how is that more realistic than the talking dragon? Also, you can't have Mushu. It's Mulan. You can't have Mushu. I could go on about the Disney live action remakes and just how sad they've made me recently. Hi, Christy. Oh, no, you're good. I know. Usually I start at noon, but today I started at 11 just because I don't know what's going on this afternoon. I don't have anything planned. I don't think anybody has anything planned. But just in case something comes up, I just wanted to start it a little bit earlier. So I hope you guys did well in that last sprint, in our Spirited Away sprint, which was awesome. Spirited Away is definitely one of my favorites. I love Miyazaki films. I will only watch them in Japanese, though. I'm sorry. Nothing against the English voice actors. It's just, to me, if there's a movie that, like, I have to watch a movie in its native language, because so many things get lost in translation and nuances. Things that sound natural in one language do not sound natural in another. And trying to make it sound natural makes it sound awkward. So I just like watching foreign films in their native language. Just because I feel like you lose some of it when it gets dubbed. And that applies for all foreign films, not just Japanese movies. Although I do watch a lot of Japanese movies because I speak Japanese. So that's like my go-to is Japanese movies. Oh, let's see. There's more. Love this myth. I know. I do too. I really, really love the Hades and Persephone myth. And I love them, because I think I've talked about this before, but I've really discovered that Hades is like nothing like how Hercules portrays him. Like Hades was actually a pretty decent guy. Like he did the one thing where he kidnapped somebody. But besides that, he was actually very respectable, I guess. It was a way to say it. He was very, like, he wasn't terrifying. I mean, people feared him because of where he was, lord of, but he wasn't a bad guy. He wouldn't try to, kill anybody or go after anybody. He didn't even want the underworld. They drew lots to see who got what, and Hades got stuck with the underworld. And it's just finding out all these things about him. And he's actually like a really, through these myths and stuff, he's actually a very, kind of nice guy. It's like, all right, Disney, let me correct you on something else. I could live without snow too. I really could. I don't mind it getting nice and like cool and crisp. I do not like freezing. Hades Town. I have not listened to Hades Town. Is this a Broadway musical? Shall we just talk about all the Broadway musicals? All the remakes. Beauty and the Beast filled in some plot holes, but Beauty and the Beast is one of my favorite movies. I love Beauty and the Beast, and so to watch them do what they did, it hurt. Also, fun fact, the prince's name, if you read the actual story for Beauty and the Beast, and Disney has acknowledged this, the prince's name is Adam. And yet she never calls him Adam. And I was thinking, okay, well, maybe she'll call him Adam in the live action film, since Disney has since, the original came out, Disney has since been like, oh yeah, his name is Adam. That, she'll call him Adam. Nope, he's still Beast. And it's like, he has a name. Did he just not tell her what his name is? You have a name, boy, use it. That's what my husband says. He does not like subtitles. But I did get him to watch the live action Rurouni Kenshin movies in Japanese. So that is a plus for me. He won't watch Miyazaki movies, but I think he actually liked watching the Rurouni. I think he was kind of more focused on the action in Rurouni Kenshin as opposed to the story, because the action is very well done. If you guys want to see a movie with some of the most amazing fight choreography, watch the live action Rurouni Kenshin movies. They are so well done. Very good action. Oh my gosh, I forgot that Christian Bale was Howl. And Mark Hamill is in Castle in the Sky. He plays the bad guy in that one, of course, because he's Mark Hamill. He really was. I mean, kind of, I don't actually know if this is true entirely, but a lot of the myths I read is that once he took Persephone as his wife, he stopped fooling around. And I don't know how true that is, because, myths are different depending on who you're talking to. But yeah, no, he was like the most chill out of all of them. And it's shocking to learn that, because you would not have expected that from him. But yeah, he's super, he's surprising. He surprises me still. Like, I'll be writing him and I'm like, boy, you still surprising me. Besides the kinetic. He did one thing. Okay. It's the one thing. And I admittedly, it is a big thing. But besides that, he wasn't that bad. But that's what I love so far about this, is learning more about him, because Persephone is kind of in the dark a lot. Like, she is not necessarily a goddess. I mean, we know about her, but she's sort of become more of like a pop culture figure, as opposed to actually playing a key role in any of the myths. And so trying to find out about her, I sort of inadvertently learned about Hades, because if you look up Persephone, you get Hades, and there's more information about Hades. And yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what the world has against our girl Persephone, because she's pretty cool too. She's queen of the underworld. Thank you very much. She's gonna rule your soul when you are dead. See that? Yeah, he really was. He really was. Like, Zeus is horrible. Like, I have nothing nice to say about Zeus. I kind of would like to believe that Poseidon, for all of his other little, like, shenanigans, that he's not that bad, and he'd actually be kind of funny. I don't know. I just always imagine Poseidon as being a somewhat decent person. Maybe not his actions, but his attitude. I have no idea. But that is just me. I know that Aphrodite is terrible. Ares is horrible. Hermes, I would not trust with a 10-foot pole. Who else is there? Athena? Come on. Yeah, she's smart, but you know what happens when people are smart? They get cocky. So, yeah, I don't know. They've all got their problems. Hera was just smiting everybody. She was just like, you, gone. Hera was, I think, the worst out of all of them. She's so... Hera and Zeus were... Given the context, I don't really want to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. They were literally made for each other. In every sense of the word you can think of when it comes to Greek mythology. Oh, it is a broad name. Hades and Persephone, and oh my gosh, I hate that I can't pronounce some of these names. Orpheus and Eurydice. I know how to pronounce the god names. I don't know how to pronounce kind of like the main Olympians, but I don't know how to pronounce these guys. I'm sorry. Hades. Yeah. Sorry, my phone keeps going off. It's what I'm telling you. It's like suddenly it's, it's my birthday and suddenly everyone's like, hello. Yeah. Yeah, that is the 100% true. And I like Hades so much more writing this story. Let me tell you guys. Yeah, I need to listen to Hadestown too. I was actually listening to Hamilton before I started this stream. And because I think in Autumn's, what was it? In Autumn's and Bree's live stream this morning, one of the times that was recommended was 1789. And for the sole reason that it was from Hamilton. And so I'm like, immediately the song starts playing in my head and I'm like, no. So of course that I have to go listen to it. I don't know if I can say it on say some of the words on YouTube because I don't want my stream taken down prematurely, but Oh, I have seen that name before. Yeah. I've seen some though that say she was a wood nymph or something like that. Like I don't know if she was still necessarily the daughter of Demeter, but like they say she was like a wood nymph. I don't know. When I think nymphs, I think Narnia. So yeah, but I'll have to look her up then. Or look up that name at least. Yeah, I mean, he knows too much. He knows too much. If he was in a mafia movie, he'd be the first guy taken out. He knows way too much. He's a loose end that needs to go. Eurydice and Orpheus. Eurydice and Orpheus. Okay, thank you. I live near a city called Hamilton. Hey! Is it named after our $10 founding father? Without a father, got a lot farther by working a lot harder. I'll stop right there. I know, right? Me listening to Hamilton, listening to anything Broadway? How dare you suggest such a thing? Very nice. Yes, just all the Hamiltons. Let's go. I'm not going to keep singing it, but it's... But yes, that is fun. I do love Hamilton. I do love Les Mis. I love Wicked. I love Anastasia. Although, since I have you guys here, I am going to pick a bone with Anastasia. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen or heard the Broadway musical version of it, but I wanted to get your thoughts on this. In the original movie, in the 1999 animated film, the lullaby that her grandmother sings to her at the beginning, the one that's to the tune of Once Upon a December, the lyrics in that are different from the song that she sings later. So, like, I can only remember a little bit of what the actual lullaby is, but it's like, soon you'll be home with me once upon a December. And then later, she sings the same tune and she remembers the phrase once upon a December, but she can't remember the rest of it. So she has to fill it in herself. So she only knows like bits and pieces of it. She knows the tune, she knows this one phrase, but she doesn't know the rest of it. And so then at the end, when she sees her grandmother again and she actually remembers the real lullaby, it's more significant to her regaining her memories and being like, yeah, I am actually Anastasia, right? So in the musical, it's all the same song. It's literally, the lullaby is the last like 4 or 5 lines of the song, where it's like, far away long ago, glowing dim as an ember, and so on and so forth until the end of the song. Like, that section of it is the lullaby. And so she's singing it at the beginning with her grandmother, which, that does not sound like a lullaby to me. Like, saying you desperately want to remember something and can't remember it is a lullaby, and so then she sings it again and it sort of takes away from the fact that she's starting to remember, and then it's like at the end when they meet again, it's again the same song. It's not a different, their words aren't different. And so it's like, how is that, like I don't know, it just, for me, from like a storytelling standpoint, like the reason why Once Upon a December is significant in the original film is because she can't remember the actual words, but she remembers this one specific phrase and the tune of the song, and she fills it in with, her own words and like this desire to finally know who she is and where she came from and why she knows this song. And then she finally remembers it at the end, which sort of completes like her memories, or her, almost, I guess, completes her story arc. There's still a little bit more at the end, but sort of kind of wraps that amnesia portion up. And I just feel like the Broadway musical does not have that because the song is the same. So I don't know if you guys think that's crazy. I mean, take a listen to it if you have the time. But it's been bugging me. And I like all the other music in it, but it's just that one little detail that they changed. I'm like, this doesn't work for the amnesia arc. Thank you. Sing for us. Oh gosh. Fun fact, I was listening to Phantom of the Opera yesterday, and so it's like, I don't know. I have so many songs in my repertoire. I annoy the bejesus out of my husband with how much I sing. So you'd have to give me some recommendations or some requests, because I don't know. Yeah. Yes, exactly. And I felt like it was missing. It was lacking. Like, also Rasputin. I mean, I know Rasputin was kind of stupid and they were going to change him anyway, but he was still kind of fun. Although I did like the awkward Russian agent guy. I don't remember what his name is. Gleb? Is it Gleb? And like how awkward he is around Anya. And that was actually pretty funny. Yes, she was amazing. She really was. Takes and Glebs. Yeah, I don't know. I could kind of see it as like she's almost become like a manifestation of his father's guilt. And I do think like the love triangle didn't make any sense. Like, I don't think there should have been a love triangle, but just kind of like, Anya has suddenly appeared and she is the last surviving Romanov, and Gleb's father was one of the soldiers who, killed the family. And so it's like, she's become like almost not like a grim reaper, but just kind of like a ghost, in a sense that like, as long as she's alive, kind of that leftover guilt from his father is never going to let him be. And so that I understand. That I get. The love part of it, I don't know. Dimitri's better. Yeah, I missed him too. And Bartok. I loved Bartok the Bat. I think those were the two most important characters in the movie, and they should have been in the musical. So, we love Bartok, and we love Rasputin. And they actually used the tune for The Dark of the Night, but they used it for like the song that when they're leaving Russia. And I was like, every time they started doing the, like it's like the do 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 do, I was like, please, someone just like, I need a chorus of bugs in the background going, in the dark of the night, in the dark of the night. Like, that's what we needed. But I never caught it. There was no chorus of bugs. So yeah, but I liked Rasputin. I thought that he was funny. He's actually the voice actor for that was the same guy who did the singing voice for Scar in The Lion King. So Jeremy Irons did the speaking role, and then Jim Cummings, who was Rasputin, took over for the singing portion. So Be Prepared is Rasputin. Fun fact. I just know really random movie facts. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she's just got one of those faces that guys sort of just fall for like that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where the romance came from. Like, I kind of got at the beginning where he was like sort of awkward and stuff, but he just already seemed like he was supposed to be an awkward character. So yeah, I don't quite know where the romance for that came in. That's weird. I don't know. It was odd. And hold on, I gotta find it. Where did it go? So I think for our next sprint, we're going to do Mulan. If I can find, Mulan came out in 1998, right? So Mulan came out in 1998. Hold on a second. I'm just going to put in 1998 and see what it translates to. 2038. Okay. 2038. So Mulan is going to be our next sprint. And if anybody else has a favorite movie date a favorite movie date, go ahead and shout it out because gotta love them. Oh, did he not do the whole song? Oh, okay. I thought he did the whole song. Yeah, I mean, kudos to Jeremy Irons. Like, I don't know how that man can be in so many good movies and then at the same time be in so many 90s cheese movies. Like, he just masters whatever he's in. Oh, good old Jeremy Irons. Gotta love him. Also, surprisingly, a fantastic Alfred. I never would have guessed. I never would have pegged Jeremy Irons for Alfred from Batman. From Batman. But like, he was really good. And so was Ben Affleck. Shocking. I mean, shocking in a good way. Shocking in a very good way. Because I 100% wanted Ben Affleck to come back and be Batman more. Like, he was so good. He was like a, what's that comic called? Dark Knight Returns? Is that what it is? The Dark Knight Returns? Anyway, there's a comic that features a little bit of an older, more like kind of rough Bruce Wayne. And that's kind of who Ben Affleck's Batman was kind of this older, hardened, doesn't really care anymore kind of Batman because he's just been through so much at that point in his life. And they alluded to that in Batman v Superman, and I about died. So, yeah. I don't know if you guys are Batman fans, but I love Batman. I've been watching it since I was little. The Joker is my favorite Batman villain. He's actually one of my favorite villains of all time. Heath Ledger has set that bar. You are not passing it. And but I love Batman. But for our sprint, we're going to do Mulan. So here, let's full screen that. There we go. So for our sprint, we're going to do 1998, there we go, which has been translated to 2038, but this is our Mulan sprint. So if you guys are all set, let's cut our hair, steal our father's sword and armor, and take our horse and go join the Chinese army. So if you guys are all set, sprint. Hooray! That is the end of our Mulan sprint. So the Huns have been defeated. The Emperor is saved. There are fireworks, and Mushu gets his spot back on the pedestal thing, right? Is that how that goes? Ooh. So let's see. I actually marked where I started this time. So I got 497 words added to this chapter. So how did everybody else do? So some comments that I missed before we started sprinting. 7, yes. The Adam West Batman, love that show, love the movie. I quote the movie a lot with my little sister because we both think it's absolutely hilarious. So what weighs 6 ounces and sits in a tree? I'm just going to leave that hanging there and let you guys kind of play around with it because you're never going to guess, unless you've seen the movie, you're never going to guess the answer. Yes. Let's get down to business to defeat the words. Bam, boom, crash. Oh, sorry, I'm readjusting. I feel like I'm in a high chair. It's very fun. Yes, but I do love the Adam West Batman. Just all of it. It's really funny. It's so funny. I love it. And that's actually kind of more like what the comics used to be. They used to be really campy. Like if you go back and read like the originals, like it's hilarious. I don't know when Batman got gritty, but I like both. I like gritty Batman and funny Batman. So I'm not picky when it comes to Batman. Unless it's George Clooney, and then I'm gonna have some questions. Yeah, that was actually pretty funny. Put him through the a blackout? Why are you guys getting blackouts? Is it storming up there? Because you said you're in New York, right? So is it storming up there? Because I know we kind of got the outside of a hurricane here, but I don't think hurricanes normally make it all the way up to New York. I think they kind of stop around the Virginia, Maryland area, but I hope you don't have another blackout. It's kind of sad that you just have to say another. So I hope that does not happen, Sarah. Oh, because of the hurricane. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because we actually got like the outside of it, but I didn't think that hurricanes traveled that far north. But if it's because of it, then I get that. Good old hurricanes, gotta love them. Actually, it's a very good Luke Combs song, by the way. Is Hurricane. Hurricane. Notice how I start talking about country music and the accent comes out. So remember how I was saying that I have a lot of family in Texas? And a lot of them have very strong accents, and especially my mom's younger brother, my Uncle Grant. Love him to pieces, but Lord Almighty, he's got an accent. In Montana. That's crazy. I didn't think the rest of the United States was getting a bunch of storms. Like I know we had some, and I'm actually surprised my power didn't go out because the wind can blow the wrong way and we'll be out of power. Building from the 60s. But yeah. That's weird. Yeehaw. Yeah, that is kind of. And my Aunt Tamara, she's got an even stronger accent. I love her accent though. I could listen to her all day. I love Southern accents. I could listen to Southern accents for the rest of my life, and I would have no problem with that. I just think it's funny because, we grew up mostly in Virginia, in Northern Virginia, where there isn't really an accent. But we grew up with, like I said, with parents who were from Oklahoma, and my mom grew up kind of in between Oklahoma and Texas. So she will sometimes slip into an accent, and then that sets me and my older sister off, and we slip into our accents because we, grew up around these people. And and then my little sister spent her entire life in Northern Virginia and cannot for the life of her do a proper Southern accent. Don't know why. Sarah's uncle is in New Jersey and doesn't have any power. Oh no. Oh no. How do we still have power? I'm so sorry. If I could share my power with you guys, I would. Oh, bye, Christy. Thank you so much for hopping on. I always love it when you come to the streams. You're always such a joy to talk to, so thank you. Helene says goodbye to our good friend Christy. Yeah, Christy is everywhere, and she's awesome. Like, she'll just pop up, and I don't know. She's always so nice to talk to. She has this sweet... Oh, Christy, before you go, say hi to Gabe and John for me. If you're still here. Hi, Gabe. Hi, John. I completely forgot. She's got these adorable kids, and they're one of them, Gabe, always asks for people to say hi. So they're so cute. It's so sweet. I love kids. So, oh man. But how did everyone do in our Mulan sprint? Did you get down to business and bring honor to us all? Or find a girl worth fighting for, or a guy worth fighting for, whichever way you go. It's the 21st century. We can do both. Oh, and Devin is heading out too. Well, thank you so much for stopping in, Devin. Always a joy and a pleasure to have you here. Thank you. So, such wonderful people. Sarah has 2 Mulan figurines. Yeah, I do really like Mulan. She is, like I said, she was kind of like in the same category as like Princess Leia and Eowyn, where she looks good in a dress, but she will happily kick your butt. So those were kind of my icons growing up, was the female characters who were like, look at me, I'm in a dress, but I also take no nonsense from you. So yeah, I always liked them. Eowyn was always my favorite. I loved Lord of the Rings growing up, but the only Lord of the Rings toy that I ever had and still have to this day is an action figure of Eowyn in her armor from the 3rd movie, when she, with the whole like Minas Tirith, Battle of Minas Tirith thing. So good. I rewatched it the other day, and I just cannot get over how amazing those movies are. Even, however many years later, almost 20 years later, they're still absolutely fantastic. So, to dress up as Mulan for Halloween again. Aww. I love that. It's funny because it's like there are so many characters who I like, who I would like to dress up as, except, I don't know how other people would necessarily feel about that. I already kind of get weird looks because I have a yukata from Japan. My friend's mom bought me like an actual like yukata while I was there for my birthday, and since I've worn it in the States, like when I was in Japan, everybody was fine with it, but when I was wearing because I will wear it on Halloween because it's like the one day of the year where I can kind of get away with wearing it and not looking weird, because in America, you don't normally see people in like summertime kimonos walking down the street. So, but I still get weird looks because I'm, wearing a yukata and I do not fit, what they think someone who dresses like that should look like. So it's very much like a, I don't know, double-edged sword, I guess is the word for that. But I actually completely forgot how to tie an obi. The more I think about it, I have no idea how to tie an obi. There's like a way that my Japanese mom taught me, where it was like you could you bring it in front of you and you tie the bow in front and then you shift it around, and it's like it's so tight. Well, it's also like you're basically like wearing a corset. So you put on the yukata, and once you have that done, and then there's a whole specific way you're supposed to wear that. So you put on the yukata, and then you tie off in two spots, like one underneath, like in the middle of your ribs, and then like beneath your ribs, so like your waist, and then you put like these two other things on top of it to kind of hold the fabric in place, and then you put the obi on. So by the time you have everything on, it feels like a corset, and you can't lean over. You have to like sit up straight, and if you want to lean, your whole body is going with you. It's I mean, it's really pretty and I love it, but it is like when I wear it for long periods of time and I take it off, it's like, I am so glad we're past that stage of corsets, that we now have a choice to wear corsets or not. But it is beautiful. It is a very gorgeous kimono. And yes, I do have a photo of it. It's not the most flattering photo of it. I think it's somewhere on my Instagram. I'd have to dig it up and look for it. But one of the photos I have of it, actually, it was one of my favorite photos because it was my friend, like this was when I was in Japan. So it was my friend was dressed in like her kind of normal wear, which, nowadays is very Western. So she had like, her outfit was very Western. And then there was me who was wearing the yukata with the obi, and I had the geita, which is like the wooden shoes on. And I just loved that picture because it was like swapping. And I don't know, I just thought that was really cool. It was like we were sharing, pieces of our culture with each other through the clothes. And I just thought I think it's a really cool picture. If I find it, I'll post it. But I did really like that picture just because I was like, oh, this is actually really cool to see, that, the exchange of, cultural items, in this case, clothes. So I don't know. I thought that was very cool. But I also love Japan. So if I can wear my yukata for like one day, there was a second part of that. Would you wear it? I mean, I could. If you really wanted me to, I could go get it and wear it for our stream. It might be a little bit difficult. It's a process to get on. I will say it's a process to get on, a little bit hard to get off. But if I have it, I will try and, see about wearing it. It's been a while since I've worn it, which is sad. There aren't many festivals to go to here. Oh, man. But yeah, it's a lot of fun though. If y'all ever go to Japan, I have so many recommendations for you. It's like not even funny. My first and foremost recommendation for that though is get out of the cities. I mean, see the cities, obviously. Go to Tokyo, go to Kyoto, go to Osaka. But if you want to see real Japan, go outside of the cities. Go to the country. Go to like a smaller, lesser known town and just really get a feel for what the country really is. And it's amazing. It is a lot of fun to go to these smaller places and see what local life is like. It's very cool. Local trains. I love local trains. I love the trains in Japan. Oh, ride the trains too while you're there. Get on the Shinkansen. It's really awesome. I don't know if it would be an inconvenience. It's just a process to get on. That's the thing, is because you do have to position the fabric a certain way. You have to tie it a certain way. And it is a process, but in the end result is usually worth it. And I vaguely remember how to put everything on except for the obi. I don't remember how to tie that darn thing. But it's very fun. I like it. I have, oh, they're not here. I was about to say, I have Japanese dolls that have very like intricate kimonos and obis on, and I was like, oh, I can show you guys, but I do not have them here. They are at my parents' house. So that is where they are. The ones that Autumn thinks are haunted. I promise you they're not haunted. I haven't had any weird experiences with the dolls yet, so we shall see. All right. Oh, I just realized we just hit the 2-hour mark. So if you guys are okay with it, we can keep going. Like I said, I've got nothing going on today. But we can do a few more sprints if y'all are interested. And we're going to stick with movies. So if you have another favorite movie or anything like that, go ahead and shout out what year it came out in. And that will be our sprint time. So I talk about Japan a lot. 5 years later, and I'm still talking about Japan like I just got back from it. I think that's a good sign when you travel somewhere and you enjoy it so much that even after you've spent so much time away from it, you still love it and still look back fondly on it. So that's how I feel about Arizona, even though I was just there like last year. But it's just, there are certain places where it's like you go to and it's like, I would love to go there again. So definitely not the highway in Missouri, though. I don't think I ever want to go there. I got nothing against Missouri, just that one stretch of road. Ooh, I almost missed my desk. But let's see. I don't know. I feel like I'm just thinking about Zara, about your comment about Halloween, and I'm like, last time I dressed up for Halloween, I was told I was too old for it, and so it's like I don't really dress up for Halloween anymore. I do have a Batman onesie that I will wear on Halloween, and it's because I can get away with wearing a Batman onesie because I'm like, oh, it's just pajamas. But it's not like, you know, actually dressing up, which I think kind of takes away the fun of it sometimes. Because I miss that. I love Halloween. I love spooky season. But I don't always dress up for it now. Just I wear my onesie and call it a day. But I guess a onesie is still dressing up though, right? I mean, if it's like a themed onesie. I wonder if they make onesies for the Mandalorian. Because I know they have one for Chewbacca. And I'm thinking it'd be cool if they had one for Mando. I might have to look into that. And I can get a little sized one, like a Baby Yoda one. Oh my gosh, wait, that's actually a great idea. I don't have any kids yet, but I know what I'm doing when I do. I'm just going to get Mandalorian onesies. I'm going to get a Mandalorian onesie for me and a bunch of Baby Yoda onesies for the kids. I like this idea. I'll just give Steven a Darth Vader helmet and we'll call it a day. Yes, I actually wore my Batman onesie to Ultimate Frisbee practice because we had practice on Halloween. I think it was last year. And so everybody showed up wearing their Halloween costumes, and I showed up in my Batman onesie, and I was like, all right, let's do this. It was a lot of fun. It was very hot. It was a very hot Halloween. I don't know why it had not cooled off by then, but Virginia is weird. She can never make up her mind what she wants. Yes, my little sister has a Chewbacca onesie, too. I don't have a Star Wars onesie, which I think is weird because I love Star Wars. I just don't think I've found the right one yet. I think if they had like a Darth Vader one, that would be really cool. I really like the Sith. I don't know why, but I've always loved like Darth Vader, Darth Maul, you know, Kylo Ren, like the kind of the darker characters. And like I've always loved red lightsabers, like the double-ended lightsaber that Darth Maul has. You know, I've always been more fascinated by the Sith than I have by the Jedi. So hence why all my Legos are pretty much Sith ships, and yeah, and my lightsabers are red. I don't know why I like the Sith so much, but if they had a Darth Vader onesie, I would definitely wear that. Also, I call my dad Lord Vader. Not because he's mean, but because my dad was the one who got us into Star Wars, and he's the one who introduced us to it. And so Vader actually literally in German means father. So it's Lord Father, so that's why I call him Lord Vader. So, and sometimes when he calls the house phone and I'm there, I'll answer the phone and I'll be like, Lord Vader, good, 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 good. Mom is making dinner. Stuff like that. They do have the best costumes. Like, what is up with that? What is up with that? Like, they got the cool hoods and like the flowing cloaks and like, I don't know. Although the fun fact, the robes of the Jedi were actually modeled after kimono. Yeah, they modeled after male kimonos, which are, I mean, less designed, I guess, than female kimonos. But yeah, that's where their costumes came from, whereas they're based off of male kimonos. So I thought that was cool. Also kind of based off of the samurai. Also kind of cool. Fun facts of the day. All right. Well, I'm going to throw out, trying to think of a good year that a movie came out in. What is a good movie? I mean, there's so many good movies, right? I'm like going through the list of like all my favorite movies in my head, and I'm like, when did these movies come out? Let's see. So we can do a longer one and then maybe a shorter one, and then we'll go on with our days. Let's see. Oh gosh, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on movies all of a sudden. Why am I drawing a blank? Let's see when this movie came out. Oh my gosh, they make the font so small. Why? 2012. Okay. So this is one of my favorite movies. This is the live action Rurouni Kenshin movie I was talking about. Fantastic fight choreography. Very funny. Very bliant, very violent, very bloody and violent is what I meant to say. Bliant. It's very bliant. It's a new word. Copyright Maddie 2020. And this came out in 2012. So we're going to do, in honor of Rurouni Kenshin. Ooh. So we'll do 2012 for our next sprint, and then we can do a shorter sprint after that, and then we can wrap up and call it a day. I think that sounds reasonable. It's a 2012, right? Also the year that like we were all supposed to die or some nonsense like that. I don't know. They made a stupid movie about it, and honestly, I don't remember at this point what the deal with 2012 was. We're supposed to die, right? Or the world was supposed to end or something like that. I don't know. It was a bad movie. That's all I remember. It was a stupid, stupid movie. Anyway, but this is for Rurouni Kenshin. So if you guys are ready, grab your reversed bladed swords and your ponytails. Hold on a second. Grab your reverse bladed swords and your regular katanas. And let's get chopping. So there we go. I didn't even notice it was counting down. Well, I didn't notice the countdown, I guess. I didn't notice that it was that close to the end. Alrighty. So, how did everyone do? I saw some comments that I'm going to go to in just a second. So, don't worry. I'm not ignoring you, I promise. So, no, not strike through. So I added 454 words and then rearranged a paragraph and crossed things out like you normally do. So how did y'all do? Almost done with this chapter now, which is awesome. I've realized that my pace is like a chapter a day just because of how long it takes me to read through everything. Long days. It is almost like working. It's like I do treat it like a job. I just don't get paid for it. Mercer, hello. I saw you pop in earlier. Hello, my friend. It's good to see you. I don't know if you've actually been on one of my streams before, but normally I see you on like Autumn's or Autumn and Helene's. But hello, welcome to this crazy place. Yeah. Amazon doesn't give me much hope either. So I feel bad saying that because my husband works for Amazon, but yeah, they don't give me much hope. Don't tell him I said that. Those are my opinions, not his. A lady in waiting. You're just a president with your highness, but for a lady in waiting. I think just by their name. Or I guess you would say lady, maybe, what is it? Lady. Yeah, I feel like you would say either just their name, depending on what your status is, I guess. I feel like it would be like either like a lower status, you'd say like lady whoever. But if you're like the person who you're the lady in waiting for, then you would just be referred to by your name, if that makes any sense. Lady, I'm not sure. And Helene had to go. I'm so glad Helene got to pop in. So Helene, if you still are somewhat watching, thank you for stopping in. It's awesome to have you here, my friend. Mercy. Yeah. I think depending on status is how you do it. And Alice, hello. Hello. Aaliyah, oh, thank you. Always so good to hear from you, my friend. So 8 minutes. 18th century. Oh yeah, I guess there would have been. I was getting it mixed up and thinking it in the wrong context of the countries because I was like, 18th century castles. What 18th century castles did we have in America? Nope, Europe, sweetie. I think it's because my brain got confused because when I see like 18, I really like the 1800s, like especially in American history. I really like kind of the time period from like 18, what's it called, like peak cowboy time, basically. So like from like after the Civil War or even before the Civil War to like the 1890s. Also European history and Asian history, Japanese history. 1800s were a huge turning point for Japan. And 1890 was when 1880s was when Jack the Ripper was around. Sherlock Holmes came out in the 1890s. And so you also have the Victorian era, which was like 1819 or something, 1820 something until like 1901, 1902. So like the 1800s, I'm like, So I was confused by the 18. I was working on 100 heads in 10 days. Oh, is that like an art? Is that like a drawing challenge? I follow some people who do like felt like artists on Instagram, and they'll have a like do challenges. So I'm wondering if that's one of those, because I know that you are an artist, Alice. Sorry to your mystery. It's about to get married to a prince. Oh, is this like your lady in waiting is getting married to a prince? Sorry, my phone just keeps going off. Lady Irene. Nice. The year is 3 years after the American Revolution ended, so 1786. Very nice. Very nice. I like that. Okay. Yeah, I was getting confused because it says 18th century means 1700s. And that's where my brain got confused. So that makes sense. Because there were still a lot of monarchs everywhere. So that totally makes sense. That was just my brain like short circuiting, like the chip in my brain glitched. No, but I love like the 1800s. I just think so many interesting things happened in the 1800s, and it was happening all over the world, you know? So we had our Civil War, you had the Industrial Revolution in Europe and England, you had Jack the Ripper, you have the Sherlock Holmes stories starting to be published, you have kind of the golden age of cowboys in the West, you've got Japan reopening to the West and to America, and they had like their whole like 15-year civil war in the 1800s. They started their own industrial revolution in the 1800s. Something was always happening in that 100-year span. And it was just crazy. It was a crazy 100 years, and there was always something going on in like every corner of the globe. And I don't know, I love the 1800s. So many interesting things happened in the 1800s. I don't know why. It's like everyone collectively got together and said, okay, we need to make this decade, we need to make this century interesting. What can we do? Person getting married is the daughter of a duke and her lady. Oh, okay. My mind, Mercer, I'm so sorry, but my mind is going to Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's making me think of the castle in the swamp scene. If you've seen the movie, I love Monty Python, so I'm reminded of it constantly. But yes, the 1800s are a lot of fun. I love them. 2 main characters are immortal. Ooh, I like that. That's always fun. Immortals are fun. They know everything. 1800s is nuts. Yeah, they were nuts. And it really was like no part of the globe did not have something crazy going on during that time. It was like, I mean, you also had like other things happening, you know, in like the 1700s and the 1900s, but it's like the 1800s was when everybody was like chop chop, we got to do this now. We can't wait until the 1900s. Oh, I highly recommend it, Mercer. It's very funny. It is very funny, but it just reminded me. It's not really similar in any way, but it just the way that you described it reminded me of a scene from the movie, and I love Monty Python, so always my favorite. So we are going to do one more sprint, and then we'll just chat for a little bit afterwards, and then we'll wrap up, and then everybody will be free to go do whatever they please. There's the singing. I think Devin was asking earlier to sing for you guys, and I'm like, well, there you go. There's my theatricality right there. So for our last sprint, I think it is appropriate to do this. Seeing as how today is August 7th, which is 8/7, we are going to end with an 8-minute and 7-second sprint. I think that works. So, last little hoorah, unless there are other live streams going on today. I'm not actually sure if there are. If there were, I would definitely be saying go to those if you want to do more. But I don't know. If anyone else knows of any other live streams that are happening this afternoon, let me know so I can tell you guys to go there. If that makes any sense. Oh, thank you. It's all good. It's all good. Honestly, I forgot it was my birthday until like 2 days ago, and I was like, "Oh, shoot, that's happening. All right." So I'm just gonna come and spend it with you guys. All right. So if you guys are all set and ready, we'll go ahead. Oh, before I forget, I have a thingy for this. Yay! Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. I am just clicking all the wrong buttons. Oopsie doops. All right. So how did everybody do for our final sprint? I saw that someone popped in the pronoun I. Hello. You are new to my channel, so welcome. Unfortunately, that was our last sprint of the day, but it still is awesome that you came to say hi. Always a pleasure to have new people here. And never thought. I'm surprised I'm not writing historical fiction because I grew up in a house where my dad was very much learn history, learn American history, learn European history, learn history. So, you know, I've played around with the idea of doing historical fiction just because I know way more than a normal person should. But I have not really succeeded in having a cohesive and good story with historical fiction. There we go. So Mercer got 140 words. Woo, that's awesome. Nice job. Alice got 2 faces, 98 to go. Awesome. I'm still curious, like, are you drawing, can it be faces of anybody or is it like a theme? So, or can you just kind of choose whoever, I guess? So like fictional characters, real people, family members, stuff like that. I'm just curious. Yeah, I love history too, Mercer. It's definitely one of my favorite subjects. It's, I think, the only subject that I ever really did well in school. So I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And I can tell you right now, I have no idea how many words I got that last sprint. I am just going to say I got about maybe 2 something. But a lot of it was also rearranging and rewording and all that fun stuff. It's a Pinterest board for the challenge. Okay, but pictures can be of anyone. Nice. Nice. That's very cool. See, I wish I could draw. I cannot draw for the life of me. So I just make do with writing and call it a day. Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you guys had a productive time. And thank you all for coming in and saying hello. This was literally my only plan I had today for my birthday. It was the only thing I was going to do. So now we're trying to put some semblance of maybe having dinner with my family tonight. I have no idea. So we're kind of just playing it by ear. But I'm really glad that you guys stopped in and wrote, because honestly, this was probably the best way I could have spent my birthday, given everything that's going on in the big bad world out there. Yeah. So thank you, friends, for writing with me. And I hope that you guys got a lot out of this sprint or this stream that is almost 3 hours long, which I think is the longest I've ever gone. That's crazy. I did not mean for it to be 3 hours, but that's just how it happened, I guess. The world is funny. Well, if you guys don't have any else, oh, what? Savvy Writes started alive. Okay, cool. So if you guys want to keep sprinting, go to Savvy Writes and sprints over there. I just I feel bad ending it sometimes because I know some people really use these sprints as like their prime writing time, and it's like when they really have like the most. God, what are the words I'm looking for, guys? It's when they're most productive, or it's when they get the most done. And so I always feel bad ending it and not having a recommendation for other ones to go off to so that you can continue your writing for the day. But I really, really am glad that you guys came in, wrote with me. Can y'all tell I'm a little bit brain fried because the English is not working right now? Uh, but thank you all so much for writing with me and celebrating with me. And honestly, you guys are awesome. And I am so thankful for this community. So thank you all so much. And I have another live stream this Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zara Hoffman's channel. Let me see if I can find her. Here she is on this lovely lady's channel, and I will be doing that with Zara, Autumn Ashley, and Helene Foy. So I hope you guys can come and join us on Sunday morning for that. It'll be great. There will be coffee. It'll be fantastic. So, oh, hold on a second. There we go. So, and then I have another writing sprint on the 13th with Helene Foy, and that's going to be at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And all of this is on my social media. So I have the whole schedule for August up on my Instagram. So you can just hop on over there and everything will be laid out for you. So I will hopefully see you guys on Zara's stream on Sunday. But until then, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. Keep writing, keep going. You guys are awesome and you're wonderful and your stories are killer. And I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. It's a very Monty Python ending, isn't it? That's a fair cop.